Good morning. Are you Mary Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Robinson, the best you can, would you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. And will your client waive the formal reading of the motion?
Sure, yeah.
Ms. Robinson, in cause number 24, DCCR 1116, I have a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. Shows that you were placed on probation December 2nd of 2024 for the second-degree felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and that was a 10-year deferred probation. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I thought it was 5 years.
Looks like it was for 10 years.
They told me it was 5.
It was originally a cap of 5 years.
Okay, so you had a cap of 5, but instead of me sending you to prison for 5 years, I gave you 10 years probation, which is what I'm allowed to do. The cap of 5 years just had to do with prison, and since I didn't give you prison, I gave you a longer probation back at that time. And we talked about that back then, and you went over the paperwork with your probation officer. Do you understand? Do you remember that?
They gave me 5 years.
I gave you 10 years deferred probation. So if you're confused about that, then now I'm telling you, you have 10 years deferred probation that started on December 2nd of 2024. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this motion alleges that your probation was violated. It's count 1 alleges that you violated by failing to report as directed.
I did.
Listen, it's real important that you listen to what I'm asking you, and then I'm going to ask you if these things are true or not true, okay? And that's all. We'll have the explanation later. I'll give you an opportunity to explain later. Count 1 alleges that you failed to report to the probation office as directed October 7th, November 13th, and December 18th of 2025. And is that true or not true?
It was on the. I'm sorry. What did you say?
So it was October 7th, November 13th, and December 18th that you did not show up.
No, I was supposed to report December. I think it was the 22nd. I showed up like the 20.
Did you report on October 7th?
No, I went like October the 20th. I want to say it was the 22nd because.
So if you didn't listen, if you didn't go on October 7th, it sounds like you were ordered to go on October 7th and you didn't go. Sounds like you were told to go on November 13th and you didn't go. So did you go on October 7th?
This March, I went.
Listen, Miss Robinson.
I did go. I went.
Listen to my question. Listen to. Hold on. Do we need to?
I think that there may be an issue, if I may, Your Honor, of her being medicated or not in jail. Ms. Mayfield can speak to that if it would help. I think there was. It's like we're dealing with maybe 2 different individuals when she's medicated and when she's not. Do you have additional to add to that?
Right. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
She was placed on my caseload, which is the mental health initiative. She was attending Spindletop. She was reporting as directed up until she started missing her appointments with Spindletop.
Okay. So what is the recommendation?
I would like for her to be placed, go through the forensic program, and I work hand in hand with them. So if I need to go to the appointments at Spindletop or communicate with the caseworker, I'm able to. So my recommendation was for her to go through that program, take medications as directed, and be placed on zero tolerance.
So, Ms. Robinson, it sounds like for a little while you were going and doing what you were supposed to do with Spindletop.
I went to probation on the 26th, and I got a letter that's supposed to be on the 24th.
Right. So listen, what about Spindletop? Were you going to Spindletop?
I'm not going to Spindletop. I'm going to get a job. I got children.
So here's the thing: if you're going to be on probation, a condition of your probation that's required is that you go to Spindletop and go through the forensic program, take medication as directed, and go to any meetings, any counseling, anything. If you don't do that, then you're going to go to prison.
This is the turning point. The judge brings up jail behavior, fighting, jumping people. That destroys the he'll behave on probation argument instantly. If he can't follow rules inside jail, why would he follow them outside?
You don't have a choice.
I understand, but I need a job.
I would love for you to have a job, but you have to
because my lights got cut off, and I honestly was in the streets trying to find out what my children is because I'm just like that.
Okay, so here's the thing: are you willing to follow the directions and go to
the job? Like,
I'm not talking about a job. I'm talking about going to Spindletop and getting on your medications and doing what you're supposed to do so that you can get a job.
Yeah, I need a job like right now because
I need you to go to Spindletop. Are you willing to do that?
Fine.
It's not, is it fine? Are you willing to follow those rules? I feel like we're going to be right back here.
I was just inquiring if Ms. Mayfield, Judge, if ISF Cognitive might be able to regulate her medication. I don't know their procedures on dispensing medication.
I don't know if, I think the only special needs safety, I know, addresses that, but I don't think ISF Cognitive does.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Right out of that structure, we're just right back here on the same thing.
So do you have a place to live when you
Yes,
get
ma'am,
out?
I do. I was going to get a job. I'm trying to get a vehicle. I need to go straight to work because, like,
You've got to go straight to probation and straight to Spindletop.
I did. It's just that they told me she was in court, so I had to be understanding, and I had to walk out.
But you stopped going to Spindletop. You were going and then you stopped.
Because I feel like I need to go get a job. I don't want to be like,
You can't do that though. If you don't go to Spindletop
Yeah.
and if you don't do what probation tells you have to do, then you're going to be back in front of me and you're going to end up in prison.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
That's there's no other option.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose whether you go or not at this point. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So I guess what we can do instead of going through, she's obviously didn't comply with Spindletop. I'll find count 3 true just based on the evidence presented today. Let's see, from probation, you're sworn in as well. Did she report October 7th, November 13th, and December 18th? Okay, so I'll find count 1 true, count 3 true. That's enough for what we need to do here. So, Ms. Robinson, what I'm going to do is find count 1 and 3 true in your motion to revoke.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to find that you didn't show up when you were supposed to and that you didn't follow through with Spindletop like you were supposed to.
Yes, ma'am.
What that means is right now today I could revoke your probation and send you to prison. But it sounds like probation doesn't want that. Nobody wants that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But we want you to be successful. So I'm going to continue you on probation.
Okay.
But I am ordering that you will go through the forensic program through probation and required to follow through with Spindletop, take any medication, any treatment, counseling, whatever they say, you have to do it. I want you to get a job as well, but you have to make your mental health first because then you'll be able to get a better job and do better. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So probation will talk to you as soon as you're released from custody. Go to probation so you get a track, get those appointments, and so that you're not back in here. Because if you don't, and you refuse to go to Spindletop and you don't show up for your appointments at probation, you're going to be right back in here and I won't be able to give you this opportunity. Okay?
I understand.
All right. You can go back with the bailiff.
I understand.
They didn't.
He does.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're Cedric Franklin.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Franklin, if you'll just take your hands out of your pockets. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Smith, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
He does.
Mr. Franklin, in cause number 25, DCCR 1005, you're charged with oh wait, are we going on count 1 only?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, give me just a second to pull that up. All right, so Mr. Franklin, in cause number 25, DCCR 1005, the state has elected to proceed on count 1 only. It alleges you committed the third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle, and that's from May 10th of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Take that out of your mouth. You're going to walk up in court with a toothpick hanging out of your mouth? Did you enter your plea of guilty because you actually did what they charged you with? I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as Exhibit Number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Smith? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a 5-year term in prison, but that would be probated for 5 years. I don't, with the history,
Your Honor, he's successful. I know there's priors.
I'm fine with probation. I just don't like the fact that if he does not complete it, that 5 is, and that.
Would the court,
I just think on those,
since we were limiting it, would the
Since
court
you're
accept a
limiting-
10 over 5?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
The probation term's not any different, just the
yes,
possibility of
absolutely. Because on all of these, and honestly, the one before this, I almost said it, and I probably should have. I would much rather have, because depending on what the violation is, it may look very weird to do a 3 or a 5 if they violated their probation in some egregious way. Do you want to talk to him about that? I'm willing to accept the 5 years of probation, but the actual punishment, if he violates, I'm not going to cap that agree to a cap at 5 on that.
The other reason it's low on that one is because the offense itself.
That one, it didn't have the history.
And I know why she did this. He successfully completed a probation about the time this happened, a 10-year probation out of Liberty County.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason. I understand the court's concern.
Yeah. I just want that entire range of something. When you have history, the other one didn't have any.
He had one
History.
old state jail,
Okay,
but
yeah.
nothing that enhanced.
Right.
And it was like 20 years.
It just means that it's worse than blind. It's fine.
So the agreement, I want to make sure, as it stands on the paperwork now, the agreement was for a 5-year term in prison that would be probated for 5 years. And it's my understanding that you will agree to a 10-year term in prison, but it will still be probated for 5 years. Which means if you violate, I could give you that 10 years, or something in between, but it's not going to be capped at that 5. And you agree to that. With everyone's permission, I'm going to make that adjustment on the written admonishment.
No objection.
And that was a $500 fine as well. Is that your understanding? And do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Franklin is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case for sentencing so that I can get a pre-sentence report done by probation. It'll give me more information about you and your case, and then we will come back later for sentencing. You need to stop and talk to probation on your way out of the courtroom today, and she's sitting at that desk right over there. All right, we'll see you back at sentencing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And there it is. A moment that reminds us how fragile trust can be. Miss Robinson had her chance, yet rules were broken, promises left unkept. The courtroom watched closely, as patience met reality, and mercy balanced with accountability. In the end, it wasn't just about probation. It was about choices, responsibility, and the consequences that follow. One decision, repeated mistakes, and the line between freedom and confinement becomes razor thin. What would you do if every choice had this weight?